girl, Beauty87 here, and today we are going to get into my favorite products for 2020 as far as complexion goes. So I have primers, I have foundations, and I have concealers and like foundation powders here with me, and we're going to talk about some of those today. So I don't have every single thing that's supposed to be here with me, so I will end up popping in a little extra clip at the end of other things that I did not necessarily bring with me home that need to be in this particular video, because I'm missing I think I'm missing a couple of primers here, and then I'm missing, I believe, it might be a couple of concealers. Don't quote me on that, but I know for sure I'm missing a primer. So at the end, there'll be an extra pop in of other stuff. So it's not necessarily going to be the order it's supposed to be in, but, you know, I'm working with what I had right now at home, because I really don't feel like making any eyeshadow videos today, besides the one I just did before I left my grandmother's house. So we're going to work with what we got here. So let's get started. So I'm starting with primers, and one I feel like you just automatically know should be in here is, of course, the Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas. If y'all remember, I finished a whole one of the regular silk canvases. It took me 2 years to finish it because I don't wear makeup every day, but the point is I finished one. And, you know, like with someone like me who has a lot of makeup, the fact that I finished your product, I feel like says a lot. So this is one of my all-time favorite primers. Like this liquid one is a million times better to me than the one in the tub, just because, you know, it's easier to use. And if I remember correctly, it has the same amount of product in it. It's just that's a solid and this is a liquid. So I much prefer the liquid to the solid, because I don't have to worry about holding on to the coin to make sure I can dip it out in a sanitary manner. So this is awesome. I actually have the original silk canvas on my face right now that I finished off at my grandmother's house. So I think I have like a couple more uses out of it, because I'm literally scraping the edges of the round of it, because that stuff is so expensive to get it all out. But yeah, that's what's on the face right now. So and the next primer I have is the Blur Activator from Joa Beauty. This is a K-inspired beauty brand from the brand Kiss that makes like the fake nails and stuff. So this was actually a dupe for, what is that? The Hourglass Veil primer, and I actually got put onto this by my girl It's Glam XO Beauty on IG. So go check out her page. She does a lot of comparisons, and she does like nice pretty makeup looks, and you know, she tries to give you alternatives to other products that, you know, don't cost as much. So this primer is wonderful. I actually tried the original Veil primer, and I don't like it that much. I actually like that one better. So it works out for me, because I think that one's only like maybe $15 at best at CVS, and CVS always has coupons and stuff. So plus they give you money back sometimes when you buy from certain brands. So that's definitely like, you know, a plus for you. So just, you know, be on the lookout, on the hunt for it. The next primer I have is the Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. Now, I like to use this one to try to combat the oil on my nose. As y'all know, that usually doesn't work for me that well, but it does do a pretty good job, and it I do feel like it helps control the oil on my cheeks and stuff when summer comes. So I feel like this one is more geared for me in the summertime. I'm not obviously gonna be using it now because it's fall going to winter here in Chicago, but it's a great primer. I got this actually 50% off during 21 Days of Beauty as well. I had tried a sample one from when Smashbox had a sale on something. I ended up buying their setting spray, and they gave like a pack of what do you call it? They gave you a 7-pack trial with a whole bunch of different primers in it. So that's how I end up giving you all that video on the Vitamin Glow. I end up getting to try out this and like a few other things. And I was quite impressed with this one. So I ended up buying like a full-size one. And I was quite impressed. So that's how I got to be in this video. So the last primer I have here with me is the Farsali Liquid Powder Primer. I think this stuff is, liquid powder. It's an oil balancing serum with French pink clay. I was skeptical of this at first. If y'all remember when I first tried it, I did not like it. But the second time I tried it, I was actually quite impressed with it. So I used it like a couple more times over the summer. Not a whole lot, just because, again, y'all know I don't wear makeup that much, and I still have to try out other primers and like do a nice little rotation stuff. But this is a nice product. The only thing is, just like the Skin Tune Blur, like the stopper gets clogged up, as you can see. Like, look at that. Like, it's clogged with the product right now. So that's my only concern with Farsali stuff, is like the stopper gets clogged and it makes it hard for stuff to get out. So other than that, I feel like it's a great product, and I think it did a good job of helping with the oil on the rest of my face. Again, nothing helps the oil on my nose. So, like, I mean, once I find something that helps the oil on my nose, I might get rid of all my other primers except for my beloved silk canvas, because it's never going anywhere. I don't care what you're talking about. It's going to stay here forever. Okay, so I guess we'll start off with the drugstore things. Then we'll go into the more high-end expensive things. So with drugstore, I have the Dream Radiant Liquid Hydrating Foundation with hyaluronic acid plus collagen. And of course, I have good old shade 125 Coconut. This is a wonderful foundation for people like me in the fall. I wouldn't say this is good for people like me in the spring and summertime. Now, if you have dry skin, it'll work for you in the summertime, but for me, it didn't work that well in the summertime. When I wore it in the wintertime, it was fine. I still feel like it made my skin kind of oily, if you will. So, I don't know if this should be more of an honorable mention because I've only used it maybe like 3 or 4 times. But I liked it every time I used it. It was just more of, you know, because of the skin type I have, it's not necessarily the perfect foundation for me. But if I just have to go run errands really quick or something, it looks beautiful on the skin. And it does have the hydration from the hyaluronic acid that it claims. I'm not sure about the collagen, but the hyaluronic acid, I feel like definitely comes through. And I was really impressed with it. Now, I know I put this one in here last year. I still like it. I just happened to grab it when I grabbed the concealer. So I just figured I'd put both of them in here. But the concealer came out at the beginning of this year, if I remember correctly, and I got 2 different shades of it. So I got Golden Honey and then Golden. They actually sell this at CVS, which is awesome because, again, CVS gives coupons, and they like sent me a coupon recently for $4 off 12 of this. And if I remember, this is 10 bucks, and I think the concealers are cheap. Now, I don't remember if they sell the concealers or not. I know I remember seeing the foundation for sure, though. And I think they had my shade, too. By the way, I wear Sienna in the foundation, if anyone's curious. And I just told you the concealer shades. But this concealer is really nice, and it works great with that foundation. When I want to have a, like, no makeup type day situation, or I want my skin to look really natural, and I don't want to spend a lot of money, it's great for that. But yeah, I would recommend these. I just have to put a cream concealer underneath because, as y'all know, I have those dark circles underneath my eyes and creases. So I do what I got to do as far as putting a concealer on beforehand and just putting those on top and using those to highlight the face, and they look great. So if you don't have a lot of issues with dark circles like I do, I feel like the foundation on its own would just be fine. But if you do, just keep in mind you might want to put a cream one on underneath and then put on the other one after that, and then you should be cool. So okay, so now we're gonna get into some high-end foundations, because that's the rest of all I have is high-end foundation and concealer, of course, right? Big surprise. What in the world? Sorry, y'all, I was picking my nails, and like the skin from underneath my nail just peeled off, so I don't know how that happened, but okay. So I'm gonna start off with a brand that has rebranded and got rid of its, you know, problematic owner, or face of the brand, I should say. And that's the KVD Vegan Beauty Foundation. What is it? True Portrait Liquid to Powder Foundation in the shade Tan 074. I remember when this first came out, 074 wasn't tan. I forgot what shade it was, but this is my shade. This is the shade I wore in the full coverage when she came out with the Locket one. So I just went ahead and grabbed that shade, and luckily it was the right shade. This is a beautiful foundation. I heard Tiff Jeff talking about this like last year, and I bought it then, but I didn't like really try it out because I was like, you know. But they had already gotten rid of her when I did buy it. And I think I got mine for 50% off. And it came with like a free brush or something like that. Or either it was $25 and I got a free brush. And then I think I got free shipping on top of it too. So that's really, I was willing to try it out. But this is a beautiful foundation. It's currently 50% off on Sephora right now. But God only knows when this video is going to go up. But hopefully you can find a good deal on it. I feel like you can always find a good deal on KVD Vegan Beauty just because, you know, she was so problematic for so long, and people got tired and stopped buying it for such a long time. That if it's something you are interested in, you can most likely get it at a, you know, wonderful deal. And when Black Friday comes, it'll probably be even better. Now, mind you all aren't going to see this video until December, even though I'm filming it like 2 weeks before Halloween. But I just wanted to get this out the way because I figured no other foundations were coming out. Although I did see the Huda Beauty ones coming out, but I'm not going to buy it because I don't use the regular Huda Beauty one I have now. So, not to mention, I'm not big on stick foundations. But this foundation right here is wonderful, and you should definitely try it out. Now, mind you, if you don't like liquid to powder foundations, I don't know if I would recommend you use that. Especially if you have dry skin. I don't know if that would be the best thing for you, but it might be good for you because then you don't have to try to set the concealer underneath your eyes or anything else on your face with powder because the foundation dries to a powder finish itself. I don't know how that works because I have oily combination skin that's acne prone. But since we're talking about liquid to powder foundations, I'll just get the other one out the way. This is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This dries to liquid powder as well. I actually have this on my face right now, mixed in with 2 other NARS foundations. I don't know, I had the bright idea that I should try all 3 NARS foundations at the same time. So that's what I did, like a goofy. And so I actually think it turned out really nice. So let me know what you think of like how my skin looks. I think it looks pretty nice considering, you know, I have on 3 foundations. So I have on this one, then I have on what is the one Jackie I love so much? Sheer Glow. And then I have on the Radiant Long Wear one. So I mixed all three of them together to get this foundation situation I have one on right now. And I have on their concealer in the shade Walnut, along with the Pot Soft Matte Concealer and Amon. But this is a beautiful foundation on its own. Looks nice. Mixed in with the other foundations, as you can see, it looks nice. So this is a beautiful product, and I would definitely recommend you try it out. So I got 3 more high-end foundations, and they're like bougie or high-end, like up there, like 50s and 60s type price. Because I think the NARS one was only like, I want to say it was 39 or like 48, something like that. It was close to this price point, but it wasn't exactly this price point. So I figured I'll start off with the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. Of course, I wear the shade 510 Suede. This foundation is amazing. Like, oh my God, y'all. This is one of the foundations that's lasted on my face best. I mean, it still has my nose looking oily, but not nearly as oily as some other foundations I feel make it look. This stuff right here is just amazing. Like, this is one of my like top 10 foundations. Like, if I can only keep 10 foundations, I believe this is in that video as well. I'll try to remember to link that up above. But yeah, so this foundation right here is just absolutely amazing and wonderful. I love it. So get your hands on this foundation if you can. I have not tried the concealer though, so I don't know about the concealer. When I use this foundation, I usually use the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer, or I'll use another concealer that I'm going to talk about in a second with it, but it's just absolutely stunning, and you should definitely get your hands on it. It is wonderful. So the next foundation I have, now mind you, this foundation is new. The last 2 foundations I'm going to talk about aren't new, but they're just new to me because I hadn't tried them out. I had looked at them, I had wanted to try them, but since I had only tried one thing from Giorgio Armani, which was the Power Fabric Concealer that you all saw in 2019's favorite video, I was like, I don't know. But I have the Power Fabric Long Wear High Coverage Foundation. I wear the shade 11.75, yes, in this foundation, as well as Luminous Silk. And I like that one as well, but I just don't have it here with me. That's one I told you all you'll have to see later on when I add the clip in, because I don't have it here at home. I tried to keep an expensive foundation in my grandmother's house and here, and I just opted for the Power Fabric here because I have oily skin and I felt like it would be more realistic. Plus I have other glowy things here, or light coverage things here that would I could use that I didn't need that here. So this foundation is pretty nice. I like it. I've only used it maybe like 2 or 3 times, so I can't, you know, speak to how awesome it is. I got this for 40% off though, so that's why I tried it, because I think I paid like $37 for it, and y'all know this is a $68 foundation. So shout out to my girl Beautydealsbff as usual. That's why I always tell you all you need to go check out her Instagram page. She has like a text message system now that you can apply to. I think it's 474747 or something like that. I believe that's the exact number. Don't quote me, but if you go to her IG, then it'll show you that, you know, you can sign up for that, and then you might not necessarily have to have your notifications turned on IG to make sure that you get whatever post she puts up. But yeah, so anyway, this is a wonderful foundation, and I wouldn't have got it for 40% off to try out for you all if it weren't for her. So shout out to you, Beautydealsbff. And yes, I'm so glad I got this foundation. It is wonderful. And the Luminous Silk is really nice too. The last one I have is super expensive, and I think it was worth the money. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful foundation, but I'm sorry, the La Mer, the Soft Fluid Long Wear Foundation, I don't think this is worth $120. I have the shade 430 Chestnut, and it's a shade too dark for me, but it works perfect for me in the summertime. So in the wintertime, I would not be able to wear this foundation. But I mean, it's a really nice foundation, don't get me wrong. Like, it looks beautiful on the skin. As you can see, it's too dark. But since I've been out in the sun this summer, it might be like, you know, my right shade now. I don't know. But this foundation is beautiful. Looks very nice. But I didn't pay the $120 for it. I think I paid like $90, and I thought that was too high. Like, I'm like, I don't know. For this foundation, I feel like $80 is the right price, not $120. Like, for $80, I would definitely recommend you try it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. If you can catch it at the $90 that I caught it at, then I would definitely recommend that you try it out. If you can afford that. If you can't, sis, don't even do it. Like, a foundation I'm about to show you after this one works just as nice as it did, in my personal opinion. And, you know, it doesn't cost nearly as much. So you might want to look into that. I'm actually thinking about comparing this one to that one. I don't know, though, since this one is darker than that one, then you'll be able to tell, excuse me, a difference on my face. But otherwise, you know, I definitely recommend that you try this out. It's just, I feel like it's overrated for the price that they're charging, but it is still a nice product, which is how it ended up in this video. It does look like natural skin. It looks very nice on the face. It doesn't look like I'm cake face, but it still gives me the coverage of a cake face. This is what I appreciate about it, but I just don't think it's worth $110. And I said what I said, and I got a lot of negative dislikes on that video because I guess there's a lot of stands for the foundation. That's fine, but you don't get to tell me how I feel about it. If you don't like how I feel about it, I don't really care. So that one. Exactly. Next, we have the Rare Beauty Foundation. I forgot, what was the name of this? It just says Rare Beauty Foundation. I have the shade 450 in. I was not expecting to try this at all. I had no interest in trying this. I didn't care that Selena Gomez was coming out of a makeup line. And that's the thing. I am a Selena Gomez fan. Like, I love her music. I didn't watch Wizards of Waverly Place because obviously she's younger than I am, which means I was too old to watch it in the first place. And I didn't. But, you know, I like her music. So I was like, cool, she's coming out with a makeup line. That's nice. But I didn't want anything to do with it or to buy it or anything. But I think it was too much mouth and Karen Harris that made me decide to try out this brand. Because, like I said, I wasn't trying to try it at all. And the foundation actually is really nice. And what I like about it is, like, I feel like it doesn't feel like anything's on your face, yet it still gives you a decent amount of coverage. Now, you have to build up the coverage to get, like, a high medium coverage. But I feel like when you start off, it gives you, like, a high light. And then when you do this second layer, then it gives you a high medium. And it looks nice on the skin, you know. Once you add your powders and, you know, you use the matching concealer and all that. Well, I really prefer the concealer, though, over the foundation. Like, the concealer is just everything to me. I have the shade 430W in the concealer, which I thought looked really nice, and it gives you a really golden undertone to it. It's just a great product, and they work very nice together. I saw she just came out with eyeshadow palettes. I did order both the eyeshadow palettes, and I had an idea for, well, I got this idea from Karen Harris to use them with the Too Faced Tutti Frutti palettes, since they don't come with any mattes. All her eyeshadow palettes just have a whole bunch of shimmers in them. So I will be doing that as soon as they come. I ordered them Friday, but it said they're not going to get here till Tuesday, which sucks because it's like I was hoping to try to film with them Monday. But, you know, it's fine. Y'all just have to wait till Friday. It's not like we don't still have to wait on Pat McGrath to show up too. So we just wait on everybody to show up and just do that over the weekend. I think that's why I wasn't excited this weekend, because I know I didn't have any new stuff to film with, and I was just kind of like, oh, that was sad. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna get into is concealers, and then we'll end with the face powder. So I'm gonna start off with the lower price concealers, and then we're gonna move our way up, because I got a couple of like luxury brand concealers here. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with this Kosas. What is this called? I don't remember the exact name of it. I think it's Kosas Brightening Eye Cream plus Concealer or something like that. I have the shade number 8. When I first saw this, I didn't really think anything of it or the brand. But then I saw, what's her name? Kathleen Lights had it. And then she had tried it out. And she was talking about how nice it was. And I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and try it out. It looked really cool. And I was quite impressed with this concealer. I like to mix it in with other concealers with certain foundations. Like, I don't have a concealer to match with it. So, for example, I'll mix this in with the Synchro Skin foundation when I first start off, and then I'll use another high-end concealer after it, and I feel like they just both give like a beautiful nice glow underneath the eyes and all that. So excuse me, you know, it's cool with that. So I like this concealer a lot. I used it a lot throughout the summer, and it was just a beautiful product, so I had to include it in my best of 2020. Next one I have is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Concealer. I have the shade 5.1. I like Makeup Forever. I feel like they don't come up with that many products that often, which I guess is a good thing, but also it can be a bad thing, because it's like people forget about your brand if you don't come out with stuff on a consistent basis the way other brands do. Now, I'm not saying be like ColourPop and come out every 5 minutes and you look up something's coming out, but I feel like they don't come out with products nearly as fast as other brands do, or nearly as often as other brands do, which sometimes I feel like gets them swept underneath the rug. But this, I liked the foundation that came out under this line, so I figured I'd try the concealer. And of course I tried the concealer with that foundation, but I tried this concealer with a couple of other foundations too, because I know everybody doesn't do like me, and whatever foundation you have, if you have the matching concealer, you just use it with that product and nothing else. I know people mix things with other things, and you know, that's fine. So I just try to make sure I do it just for like video purposes, but as a general rule, I would just use this with that foundation and that's it. But you know, I think they work beautifully together, and it works fine with other foundations as well. So if you're that person who likes to mix it with other things and not necessarily use it with what other things are in the line, then you should like it just fine. It gives decent coverage. It highlights the face nicely. So I wouldn't say it's a bad product. It's a good product, and that's how it ended up in the video. Now let's get into the bougie, expensive, high-end luxury things. So we're going to start off with the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I have the shade, what shade is this? I don't see it on the bottom. I forgot the name of the color I had too. Oh, here it is. W4WO. So I had bought the 4 Warm Olive one. And when you first look at this, it looks like, what was I thinking buying this color? I know. But when you put it on with the foundation, it looks beautiful. I have a whole video on it. So if you want to see it, you should just be able to type in Beauty87 and all my videos will pop up. Or you can type in Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, and it should pop up underneath that too. But yeah, I really liked this concealer. When I first tried it, I was kind of iffy about it because of the color, like I said. And online, the color looked darker than it did when I actually got it in person. But it worked out fine for me. I used it with the original foundation they had came out with before they redid it with the, what was it, Forever Skin, I believe it's called. And then I used it with the Dior Face and Body foundation. And it worked out well with both foundations, even though that's more a neutral tone one. And the original one, I think, is a more warm tone, if I remember correctly. But that one looks a little orange. But either way, I feel like it balanced out both the foundations nicely and gave me that yellow and golden undertone that, you know, I have toward the middle of my face since I have a yellow undertone. So it was a good foundation. It gave decent coverage. I don't know if I would necessarily say you should go out and get it if you're not into luxury makeup, because it is kind of high for, you know, what it is. And I have other concealers that do just as nice. But since I did like it, I figured I'd put it in here. So I recommend that you try it if you're into luxury makeup like I am. The last concealer I have is, of course, the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I believe that's what it's called. I have the shade Maple. Now, I was quite impressed with my matching skills, because I remember Andrea Renee was talking about how it was difficult online for her to look for it, so she actually had to go in store and get it. And I just picked this color like off the gate, looking at it online without going in store. I was going to pick the color called Doom, but then I was like, no, Maple looks like it has more of a golden undertone in it. And I've actually used this quite a bit. Like, again, this is another one I'll go to with the Synchro Skin foundation. So what I'll do is I'll put on the Synchro Skin foundation. Then I will use this as my first layer. Y'all know I use the first layer before I put on my foundation. Then I'll use this, excuse me, as a second layer. And then the last layer I put on when I do the rest of the highlighting on my cheeks. If you watch my channel, then you know I will use like this one. So I start off with the creamier eye cream concealer to help brighten, and then I go in with this one last to just kind of give me the more fuller coverage, because I feel like the Kosas one is more like a medium coverage, and y'all know I need a full coverage because of the creases I have underneath here and the dark circles I have. So this one really helps combat that, and it helps out with my under eyes a lot. Plus, it just has a beautiful finish to it, and it wears pretty well throughout the day. So that's why I recommend it. Now let's get into the powders. I only have 3 powders, so this shouldn't take that long. And a lot of the powders actually match some of the foundations that I had out here, or some of the concealers I had out here. So I'm going to start off with the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Complexion Powder. I have the shade Chai. Now, I had originally wanted to try this when it first came out, but I've have other face powders that I just usually go to, and I try not to buy a lot of foundation powders because I rarely use foundation powders. Lately, I've just been using setting powders because I feel like when I use a foundation powder, it makes my face look a little bit more cakier. And as y'all know, I have all this texture going on over here with all these acne bumps and stuff. So the last thing I need to do is add more textured products on top. But they had this for 50% off during 21 Days of Beauty, so I ended up grabbing a couple of them. And this is actually a very nice powder. I know KK Colorful Camille talks about this was her go-to powder. She really liked it. So that was another reason I wanted to try it out, because it's always looked nice on her skin. It was just more of me getting around to finally trying it. So when it came up during 21 Days of Beauty, and I got it at 50% off, which I think made it 16 bucks because it cost 32 regularly, I was definitely here for it. I was definitely like, yes, I need to try this out. Another face powder I have is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Blurring Foundation Powder. I wear the shade Y505. So if you didn't know, when it comes to Makeup Forever products, their colors always stay the same, like CoverFX and a couple of other brands. Like whatever shade you wear is the exact same shade in all of them. In CoverFX, I wear N90 or G90, and the color is always the same across. I don't ever have to worry about it changing or anything like that. I think NARS is like that too. Like I always wear Macau, and Macau always looks the same on my skin tone no matter what it actually looks like in the bottle. So if you needed a shade reference, I wear Y505 in Makeup Forever. I wear G90 or N90 in CoverFX. And then I always wear, in NARS, I always wear Macau. Anyway, so I saw this powder a while ago, and I know this is not a new product, but I waited till I think they had their 30% off sale, and that's when I went ahead and bought this. Now, I have not really used this one. I think I swatched it for like pictures when I did pictures of the concealer. I have another one that I was using, but I sent that one to my grandmother's house, so I'd have like foundation powder there if I needed it. And I bought this one for 30% off when Makeup Forever had their 30% off sale earlier this year when quarantine first started. But this is a beautiful powder. I heard Casey Holmes raving about this, and if you all didn't know, I'm usually whatever Casey Holmes raves about, I usually go ahead and try out and buy, because she and I have the same taste when it comes to foundation. So I knew I could trust that if she liked it, that I would most likely like it. And sure enough, like she said, this was awesome, and she was right, it's awesome. So I went ahead and bought it, and I am so glad I did. This is actually my second one. Like I said, I sent one to my grandmother's house, and then I bought another one for me to have at home because I liked it that much. So that powder is amazing. You should definitely try it out. It does do a good job of blurring and smoothing out the skin. So when I use the foundation, the matte velvet skin foundation and concealer, I usually just go ahead and use this powder too, because obviously they're all made to work together. And I feel like when you use products that work together, that are made to work together, that they'll do their best work then. So I usually put on my Skin Tune Blur, or I'll put on my Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas, and then I'll put on the foundation and concealer, and then this powder, and my skin just looks amazing and wonderful. So the last powder I have is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Custom Finish Powder Foundation in the shade, of course, 510 Suede. So this is what it looks like. This powder is wonderful. When I use the Shiseido Skin Foundation, I usually just use this powder instead of setting my face with another powder, because since they're both supposed to refresh the skin, I don't have to worry about touching up or trying to get rid of the oil or anything like that, because I'll have on the powder foundation and then I have on the liquid foundation. They're both supposed to do the same thing, and then I just put on, like I told you all, the Kosas or the Hourglass, or sometimes I use the Iconic London Concealer and do that instead. So these are all of my complexion products and primers that I have at home. I will pop in a little clip of the other things that I don't have here anymore, because I sent them to my grandmother's house, so I'd have more variety and more newer things there, as well as like things I appreciate at home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of the video. I will see you in the other part, and then you'll hear about the diamonds and all that at the end. So see you guys later. So finishing off my foundation and favorite foundations and concealers of 2020. I have a combination here that I like to use together. The only way I'll use these foundations is with this one foundation, and the problem is they're kind of full coverage, and when stuff is full coverage, it has a tendency to not always look the best on your skin, especially if you have textured skin like myself. So sorry, I was looking away when I was talking, but I had to grab one out the drawer I forgot to grab. So if y'all remember, I tried the Lip Bar foundation for the first time this year, even though it's like a year old now according to their Instagram page. Sorry, I forgot to grab a concealer. Jesus, I'm all over the place. But anyway, yeah, so I forgot to grab this concealer. Hold, please. Okay, yeah. So I tried the Lip Bar foundation this year, and I told y'all I didn't like it. And I didn't like it because it doesn't give that much coverage, and it's more of a serum type. So it's for people who have perfect skin, and we all know I do not have perfect skin. You see my pictures. I don't try to touch them up or anything or make anybody else feel bad about them not having perfect skin, which is why I don't ever touch up my pictures. Like whatever acne issues we got going on that day, sis, whatever the prime and the rest of stuff didn't do, that's just what it is. I don't ever want anyone to feel bad looking at pictures of me and thinking like I have this perfect skin and I look so wonderful. That's why I just leave my pictures the way they are. But be that as it may, since I do that, when foundations like this, or use serum foundations, they don't always work for people like me. That's all. So what I did was I found a couple of foundations I like to mix this foundation in with that are full coverage, that make it more medium and smooth out my skin and make it look nicer, along with my trusty Tatcha Silk Canvas. But I feel like y'all already know I talk about that thing forever. I have emptied a complete tub of it, so that shows my dedication and loyalty to that primer. But anyway, so this foundation actually does get to be in my favorites of 2020. The only thing is I have to mix it in with either one of these foundations. So I did a review on this one last year, and I told you all I didn't like it because it showed the texture on my face. And then I did a review on this one, and I told y'all I didn't like it because I didn't feel like it gave enough coverage, and I felt like it showed texture on my face too, if I remember correctly in that video. So when I mix in this Lip Bar foundation with these two foundations, I'll do like a pump of this, and then I'll do like a squeeze of each one of these. It gives me the perfect coverage that I was looking for, because this smooths out the foundation, like I said, and then these don't look so thick and cakey, and they don't show the texture and pores and all the other issues I have going on with my face. So these are a good combination, either these two or these two. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy these two. It's just since, you know, I try a lot of things, and sometimes I don't want to just give up on a product that easily, especially since, you know, I already paid my money for it and we need to try to use it and make it work. I found that I like mixing these two foundations together or these two foundations together. And since I've been loving that combination recently, I definitely felt like we need to put it in the favorites of 2020 video, even though I know it's only October, okay? I'm trying to get ahead on some of these videos, just in case I'm in the mood if I don't want to film anymore again. Where's the other foundation? Okay, I got another foundation combination that I figured we should do, and I'm actually wearing a foundation combination on my face today, but that's not going to be in here. But this one I've used like 2 or 3 times this year, and I like both the products, but again, one is full coverage, and I actually bought my summer shade instead of my winter shade, so it works out that I mix this other foundation in with it so I can wear it year round. But I'm talking about the Milani Screen Queen foundation. I have the shade 500 Natural Toffee. We wear the shade 480 if you're my skin tone. It's just I bought 500 by accident because when I saw Andrea Renee's video, it hadn't warmed to her skin yet, and I didn't like the way the undertone looked on her. Obviously, it warmed up when she added powders and everything and made it look better, but I had already went out and bought this one. So what I do is I mix in the Age Perfect Radiance Serum Foundation from L'Oreal in the shade 125 Cappuccino, and that's the combination I use. If you don't want to do that and you want to just try this product on its own, go get the color 480, and that'll work for us just fine. But I mixed them since I had both of them already, and this one, of course, since it's a serum foundation, doesn't give me the type of coverage I need. I think I had to use like 4 or 5 squeezes of this just to get up to a nice medium coverage without me concealing my face ahead of time, because I like to try things out for the first time without them concealing ahead of time. Unless it's a serum foundation, then I'll usually just go ahead and conceal, because I'm like, I don't want to risk it. I want to take a chance, and I don't have to use up a whole bunch of product, and then you end up looking cakey because you had to use more product, and I could have just concealed underneath to begin with. But these are 2 of a lovely combination. So again, I'm trying to use up products in 2020 and not try to buy as much stuff, even though I still bought plenty of things, but you know, including these 2 things this year. But you know, they worked out for me as a combination, and I really like the way they look. So they are some favorites for 2020. Now I only have 3 more foundations, and I have a couple foundations that have matching concealer. So I'm and speaking of which, the lip bar concealer is awesome. Now this stuff is amazing. I absolutely love this product. It is a quick conceal caffeine concealer. I have the shade 400 Cinnamon, and then the foundation I wear 4.03 if anybody cares. But yeah, so I really like this concealer. Oh, and the Bite Beauty foundation I wear D155, and in Smashbox I always wear 4.25. Sorry, I forgot to name the colors ahead of time. But yeah, this concealer is amazing, y'all. Like every time I use that foundation, I have to use this concealer with it. This concealer is just so beautiful. It's the perfect like yellowish type undertone to put underneath the eye to brighten up the eye for people like me who have dark circles. So this is definitely a nice concealer. Only thing is I feel like it has a small amount of product. It has 0.35. I don't know if that's a normal amount. Let me check one of these other concealers I have with me. I mean, I guess it's on par with the other ones I have. Let me see. I think I'm just, you know, feeling like it's not because it's in such a small container, but this stuff is amazing. You should definitely get your hands on it. Now let's get back into the foundations. I just want to get that matching concealer out of the way. I have the MAC Studio Fix Soft Matte Stick Foundation in NW45, of course. Believe it or not, this is the first MAC foundation I ever tried, this stick foundation. I had heard their foundations break out your skin and make it irritated a lot of the time, so I didn't dare want to try one because I was like, I already have acne prone skin. We got all this going on over here in the corner, sis. That's why we got the hood on, trying to look cute, you know, like cover up all that. Aside from the fact, as usual, sister girl ain't did her edges because it's a weekday, it's a Monday, and ain't nobody got time for that. But anyway, I really like this stick foundation. I know Kelty Bronner J was talking about how it made her feel real oily and it didn't hold well. It worked out fine for me, so I really like it, and it's always going on sale. So if you want to try it, it's at a great deal. And this didn't break me out, which is what I'm mainly concerned with, because I've heard so many horror stories about the liquid one breaking you out, so like I dared not try it ever. So this stick is where it's at for me. And since I have oily acne prone skin and I get those cystic acne bumps like thick and deep underneath the skin, like there's one right here that you can't see because I got it covered up pretty nicely. But yeah, no, hot mess. Oh, I had some primers I need to talk about, but I just dove right into the concealers and foundations because I was excited. So we'll get to those in a second. I'm gonna just finish off the foundation since we already here. Okay, so I have this concealer from what, CoverGirl. This CoverGirl True Blend. I don't know what the rest of it says because there's a sticker on the front. So I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know the exact name of this. My apologies, but CVS decided I didn't need to know the name. The color I have low is D100 Golden Caramel. And then they have another one that's just in caramel. I have both of them because at first I didn't know Golden Caramel exists. So I bought caramel. And then I found out about Golden Caramel after the fact. So I just went ahead and bought that one too because, you know, I'm a crazy person like that. That concealer dries really quick though. So I like to spot conceal my face with it. But you can't leave it sitting for a while like I normally like to do. Because one time I did. And like it would not move. Like I couldn't buff it out. I couldn't do anything like that. So it keeps coverage and it keeps it very nicely. So yeah. Make sure you don't try to leave that on for a long period of time. Put it on there maybe like a couple of minutes and then start blending it out. Because otherwise it's just going to stay there. It's not going to move. It's going to drop and you're going to be in a world of trouble. Because I've had that happen a couple of times and I was just like, ooh, no, never again. So the last set I have the foundation and I have the matching concealer. So that's why I got that one concealer out of the way so we could get to the foundations and the matching concealers. So I told you about this one and another one, but this is the Luminous Silk Foundation from Giorgio Armani. Believe it or not, this is the first time I tried it this year. I don't know, with Giorgio Armani makeup, it was just like I wasn't in a rush to try it. I heard people raving about this, but I was like, it's called Luminous Silk, so I'm feeling like it's not going to give me the coverage I need. Then I saw Power Fabric came out, and I really wanted to try that one, but I wasn't sure what shade to try. And then a lot of the people that I watch don't really buy Giorgio Armani. They kind of stay to the high end, and then the you know, affordable, and then like drugstore in India or whatever. So a lot of them didn't have it. And then I watched Kelsey Breonna J, but obviously we're not the same skin tone by a long shot. So whatever shade she wears, I cannot be bothered with it all. So I took a guess and guessed on 11.75 and I was right. So I tried it out, and shout out to my girl BeautyDealsbff for hooking me up, because I think this foundation cost me like $37, something like that. She had found some deal where they had a glitch in the system when you added this to your cart and like a couple of the lipsticks, that you got this foundation for I think like $27 or $37, and then the lipsticks were like buy one get one free, so it ended up being $50 for this foundation and like 2 lipsticks or something. So that's how I ended up trying this out this year, and it is a really nice product like people say. I actually found it gave way better coverage than I thought it was going to, since it's called Luminous Silk. I was just like, no. It's kind of like the NARS Sheer Glow. It's like with these names, I feel like you're tricking me and making me think that it's going to be this glowy product that's not going to give enough coverage. And then I found out that it actually gave quite a lot of coverage for someone with my skin type and my skin problems. It works out very well. So I definitely have to say, I'm glad I tried this out this year, and I'm glad I have it. And of course, the year I tried it out, they came out with the matching concealers. I have the Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 8.75. You all know last year I had the Power Fabric in my favorites of 2019. That was actually my first Giorgio Armani makeup product I had ever tried, and I really liked it to the point where I tried out 2 foundations and the another concealer from them this year. So I was quite into the brand this year. I like this concealer okay. I like to pair with the Power Fabric. That's my favorite way of using it. Like I'll use this to highlight the face, and then I'll use the Power Fabric underneath the eyes, and then have this highlight the face for the last go round of concealer when I put on my concealer. If you watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. I usually layer concealer like 3 or 4 times just because of the dark circles that exist underneath my eyes. They're quite real, and it doesn't help that I don't get sleep, so I have to add as much concealer as possible. Fake it to make it, child. But this concealer is really nice. I know Too Much Mouth loves this concealer, and she's not a person who uses concealer. She usually just uses foundation underneath the eyes. That's a lighter shade. So the fact that she uses this all the time says to me that, you know, it's a great product. And I tried it, and I liked it as well. So I figured I'd put it in my favorites for 2020. Okay, so the last foundation and concealer match I have, you will not believe, because I was talking so much crap about this brand and about trying their foundations and concealers, because I feel like they always look horrible. And I feel like you should know it's already a Makeup Revolution brand. So I have the XX Revolution foundation and concealer. Now, I bought the matte one. I know, was it Neon MUA? He has the luminous one, and the shade match that they sent him was horrible, honey. It was just awful. But this one actually worked out for me pretty well. And if it hadn't worked out for me, I have those yellow pigment drops from e.l.f. that I could have used to try to make it work. But the finish on this is just gorgeous. This concealer is really nice, and it warms up to the skin really well with the powder products that I add to it. So I absolutely love this combination. It is wonderful. I have the shade SX 13.7 in the foundation and CX 12.2 in the concealer. I think this is called faux matte foundation or something like that. I don't know exactly, but this is I believe the foundation is $24, and I forgot how much the concealer was. I think it was like 18 or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but these products are great, and they're definitely something you should try out. I know it's my Ray loves this foundation and concealer as well, because it is a great value, and she's a drugstore lady, so she knows her stuff, and she was definitely right on the money with this. This is a great product. The last thing I have is 2 primers, and I swear we will be done. I know this video will be like 30 something, almost 40 minutes long, because y'all know I have to ramble away about every single thing. But we're going to keep on with the XX Revolution. So this is the Cloud Complexion Revolution Beauty Primer. And it's made in Italy. This primer is absolutely amazing. Like, if water cream was a primer that you could put on your face, that is what this is. This is like Tatcha water cream in primer form. That's it. Don't argue with me. That's just it. This stuff feels so nice on your skin. When I first put it on, I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. Like, it has so much nice hydration in it, but it still gives you a nice smoothness to the skin. And then the foundation and concealer that I just talked about go over it so beautifully and nicely. But this is supposed to be a skincare infused makeup line, so it probably explains why this feels so nice and feels like the Tatcha water cream. This stuff feels amazing. And the foundation feels nice, and I didn't feel like it broke me out or gave me any issues like that. So if you don't even buy the foundation concealer, get your hands on this primer. They sell it at Ulta, so you can get it at an exceptional deal, because it is kind of high. It's like 20 bucks, and it's only 0.81 fluid ounces, so it's not even 1 fluid ounce like the I think the Tatcha Silk Canvas is. Let me see. No, the Tatcha Silk Canvas is 0.7 ounces, so it's even less than what's in here. But this is amazing. It feels wonderful on the skin. You will love putting that on your face before you start your makeup, girl. I'm telling you, it's just an experience you need to experience. Okay, the last primer I have is the Revlon Photo Ready Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Makeup Plus Skincare Primer. So this is supposed to be like a dupe to the Liquid Silk Canvas from Tatcha, and I would say it's actually a pretty good dupe. I wouldn't say it's exact on the money, but if you're not trying to spend $54, this is 1 fluid ounce, and then I think the Liquid Canvas is less than 1 fluid ounce, and y'all know that's $54, just like the one I just showed you. And this one I believe is like $15.99 at CVS. No, sorry, it might be $11.99 at CVS. I don't know, but I always use my coupons and buy this to make sure I put it in giveaways, because this stuff is just that amazing. And y'all know I don't really advocate drugstore stuff. I don't use a lot of drugstore stuff, but if I'm telling you this is good and I'm going on my way to put it in giveaways, I feel like that should tell you something. This stuff is awesome. I absolutely love it, and you need to go to the drugstore near you and grab it. I'm finna go grab one today, because I got 2 Revlon coupons and a 40% off coupon, so this about to be in my birthday giveaway, because this stuff is that hot fire. So those are all of the foundation, concealer, and primers that I had to give you all in my favorites for 2020. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. If you want to know what's on my lips, I have on This Is Nude from Essence in the number 5, and then I put the Divine Rose Gloss from Mother on top of it. And then on my eyes, I have the Kaleidos Escape Pod and the Kaleidos Lunar Lavender eyeshadow for a palette mashup that I did earlier today. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.